Hey guys, like, comment, subscribe. We're back again with some more NBA content. Obviously, a few days ago, we looked at Andre Drummond potentially going to the Toronto Raptors. And as these days have continued, the rumors have as well. Toronto still linked to Drummond, but overall, this guy, we know he's done in Cleveland. He's not going to be playing anymore. They just say, hey man, we got Jarrett Allen. You're not stepping on the court for us anymore. You're getting bought out. You're getting traded. Don't come to the games. So that's where
It's
Andre Drummond is.
sad to see, but in reality, when you look back at the trade, as much as Drummond was considered an all-star player in Detroit, and he's been producing like an all-star player in Cleveland. Let's be honest, his year there right now is actually one of his best in his whole career. But with that being said, last year he got traded for a second-round pick and salary filler. There's not very much salary filler around the league in competitive teams right now. And that's why last year, a team like Cleveland, not a competitive team, was able to bring him in for nothing. Because right now, the teams around the league that you would think of Drummond being a good fit trade wise, with the amount of salary it's going to take to match it, it's going to take a big hit. And will Drummond be able to bring in exceed the value you're going to lose? That's the big question. So as much as Cleveland, they're maybe trying to trade Drummond, I don't think they're really trying to get much assets back because they didn't spend anything to get him to begin with, and clearly there's no minutes for him right now on that team.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to is that salary. Where in the Toronto video, we obviously had differing opinions based on the fact that they would have to give up guys like Norman Powell and multiple other players to even get Andre Drummond, where we know value wise, they could just give up a lot less, but salary wise, unless there's a third team involved, that's what has to happen. So it's very difficult. I mean, even myself, whenever we spoke off air, I had mentioned Boston a lot, thinking that exception would fit, and it's actually a bit shy. So Boston probably not even a realistic fit for Drummond, even though I don't like that fit for him. If people thought because the exception they would go for him, they can't. If maybe somewhere like Miami, I know Myers Leonard obviously done for the year. They could get some support for Bam, same thing, but same thing, salary wise, it's hard to give it like it's hard to match. So it's I just don't know where he's gonna go, but clearly they want to move him like he's not playing. So
I can, in theory, I can see Miami. I think they could package Iguodala and they could package Leonard, and they wouldn't lose too much on the court because they're not playing very much right now. Even Iguodala doesn't play that much. Let's be honest. I know he's very important come playoff time, but in my mind, they just lose so much spacing by putting Drummond out there. You put Drummond, Bam, and Butler as your three best players. I know that Duncan Robinson is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, but you can't just have your three main threats shoot under 33% under league average from 3 point. And that's just the reality between Bam and Butler right now. And they've surrounded them with players like Leonard who can shoot the three. So I just don't know if Drummond comes in as much as he's a big impact player, especially defensively. I don't know if he fits that team very well. Like I love his fit in Toronto because of as much as they love a 3-point shooting big man, but they have every other person on the team that can shoot a three. But again, it comes to salary matching and just it's really hard to do. But if we're looking at between Drummond and Blake Griffin, I like comparing the two. They're both the stars of Detroit. If there's one player to get traded who actually does bring a little bit of value this year and costs less, it's going to be Drummond,
yeah,
especially on an expiring contract.
yeah, he definitely has more value. And like you said, too, has that expiring deal. So GMs, if you have the option, I would agree much rather Andre Drummond. I mean, this guy's only 27 also. Like that's so forgotten all the time. If you want to re-sign Drummond, you're getting one of the best centers in the league in his prime still. And people just don't care about that fact, apparently. But I mean, it's hard again to say where he's going to go because that salary, like a team like the Knicks, I mean, they don't have to like they have some cap available still. They could probably get him for very little. And like the hard thing is Mitchell Robinson is very similar to Drummond, just obviously a bit less productive. But like again, I just
The issue
not the
with that is you're going to put Robinson on the bench or you're going to trade him, but
Mhm.
Detroit doesn't need another big man. I'm not Detroit. Cleveland doesn't need another big man.
Yeah, exactly. Then like Julius Randle too, like he can't like he could space floor in some regards in terms of passing and whatnot, but he's not a great 3-point shooter either. So limiting yourselves there too. But defensively, of course, he'd be great for them. So that like that's where it's hard because he is such a weird kind of like just he has two very good skills and that's about it. But he has two elite skills. So that's where it's hard for Drummond. But like I just Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go. He'll clearly go somewhere. If he does get bought out, for like realistically, probably even the Clippers. Like they'll probably just end up taking him in. I wouldn't be shocked at that at all.
Yeah, there's a market for him out there between Blake and Drummond. There's going to be two competitive teams if they both get bought out that are going to be able to pick up a very, very productive player for nothing. And I think that's what all these competitive teams are going to wait for. So unless a team like New York's makes an offer, teams like Toronto, the Clippers, they're going to wait there until because they know that at least one of these two guys is getting bought out. It's just reality.
Yeah, and another team we're not even talking about, maybe Golden State. They were a team who
Yeah,
always used to bring in these guys, and they're still on that
if
playoff
they're bought
hovering.
out.
Exactly. I think he'd be a great fit if he went to Golden
Yeah.
State. Drummond specifically, he'd be. I mean, of course they have Wiseman there, but have that veteran center. I think that would go huge for them.
And just for the 1 year, and that's where it comes down to. If he gets bought out, there's a lot of suitors for them. And it's gonna be a hot market. So maybe a team like Toronto or one of those teams makes a move for Drummond with the thinking that they're not going to be able to get him in the buyout market because there's all the other teams competitive for it. But I just don't see it happening right now, and it's hard to see Drummond raising his value now with the fact that he's not playing.
Yeah, and it's just you have to wonder how long he's not going to play in terms of when the move will happen. But it's
Yeah.
a difficult move to say what the ultimate decision will be. But definitely let us know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you soon with some more content.